see this AT&T box is right on the side. Gee, tell them the Wi-Fi.
It's 38.
You know I can't see.
K 38K as in king. K 4. F as in facts. G as in good. The equal sign. W as in walk. 8. Yeah, 8. Number 8. K as in king again. Okay. Y as in you. Okay. X as in X. Okay.
Hey, Chef. Now we just tuning in. We're about to get started in a minute.
Might as well sing along. Baby.
I'm trying to get my phone set up. It always falls on me. It wasn't accepted. Because she ain't get it to you right.
Yes, I did. It said Wi-Fi password.
But you got to tell them if it's lowercase, uppercase.
Oh, it's all lowercase.
All the letters. So you did it all lowercase. Y'all gonna see the switch design.
That say Wi-Fi password. Well, let's say big. What that say? Wi-Fi password, right?
Chef, you welcome to come by anytime and break for that. As a matter of fact, if you're available on that next Friday.
So that might not be
the Friday night,
that might not be
right
the right.
show, and the 20th, if you're available,
That might not be the right order.
And you don't need no invitation, Chef, anytime. Just let me know you're driving by anytime.
Yeah, bring something to eat.
Yeah, Chef brought that good food.
Yeah.
But that's a different show now. Last time you was on with T.
Right.
This is me and Garrett show.
Yeah.
This Spillin the tea. It ain't the basement of the jungle. Different show.
All together.
Hey, Red. I want to send a special happy anniversary to my boy Red and my girl Mia. Woo! Y'all holding it down. I won't be like y'all one day. Hopefully, if you don't leave me, we stay that long, you know?
No.
But congratulations.
Get it to win, right? Get it to win. That's all that matters.
I'm trying to stay free.
That's it.
All good, Chef. Yep, anytime you're ready.
Oh, girl.
It's right there. That's the one I use when I'm And so why you ain't tell me your birthday was coming up? Then we could have brought you a cupcake. I could have had Chef make you a cupcake or something.
It's been so crazy this week, man. I've been people asking what's going on right now.
You know.
All right, y'all ready? Bring it in. Bring it in, Garrett.
Bring it in.
Bring
Live.
it in.
ATL, what's going on? You at the BPU Radio. We streaming live on YouTube. BPU Radio. Go there and check us out.
Facebook.
And the Facebook. Also, you can call in and hear from us tonight. We got some good stuff going on tonight. We got Miss B in the house.
B in the house. She left us last week, y'all. She left us last week.
But I handled everything last week, though. I handled everything.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We got Cajun Queen in the house.
What's up, everybody?
And we got our guest tonight.
Hey,
Is what, I want to make sure I pronounce it right.
Fats.
Fats. That's spelled P-H-A-T-Z. All right. And he's a clothing designer, or should I say, fashion designer,
with several lines that we'll let him talk about in just a minute. But I just want to say tonight's subject, we're probably, well, I am, which I always do, gonna ruffle a few little feathers tonight.
A few.
Because The topics for tonight is, should models be paid?
Yes.
Why or
Because
why not?
put in hard work.
And who should pay the models? Should the designers be responsible for paying the models? Or should the people who are putting on the show pay the models?
That's a good question.
So, with that being said, first of all, I'm going to turn it over to Fats. Let him introduce himself and tell you about this fabulous, fabulous second anniversary show that he has coming up, which your girl going to be ripping the runway. I'm going to be a part of it. Did you in the show?
Which one?
Fats' second anniversary. April 22nd.
Oh,
21st.
I mean 21st. I'm sorry.
April 21st.
Because I was stuck with the 22nd.
April 21st.
April 21st.
Okay. Yeah.
He in the show, y'all, and you don't even know. You don't even know. But for anybody that want to weigh in on the topic, please give us a call. The number is 443820417. But right now, before we get into the deep questions, I'm going to turn it over to Fats. Let him tell you about his 15,000 different lines that he has, and tell you about his show. And then we'll get into the discussion about, should models be paid? Why or why not? And who should be responsible for paying models when they do fashion shows?
But first of all, before we do anything, y'all, it's your boy birthday weekend.
Yay!
So we get it in tonight. So hey, y'all call in because look, let me tell you one thing. Y'all, I hear y'all talking behind the scenes and all this. So now it's time
to voice your opinion.
And let the world and Atlanta, let some people be heard. Let your voice be heard. So don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared now. Don't be scared. Because I'm going to call you out if I see you at the show.
Oh, trust me.
Don't be scared.
I am, hey, Adrian, I am about to ruffle some feathers, honey, with these questions. So all you models out there, tag your designers. All you designers out there, tag your models. And y'all need to listen to this show.
Yeah.
These fashion show producers, directors, whatever title you want to give yourself. Yes. I need y'all to tune into this show because we about to hurt some people's feelings. Maybe,
it's not about hurting. It's all about keeping it real and keeping it business. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. Just keeping it real and keeping it business.
All right. So, Mr. Fat, I'm going to let you go ahead and tell everybody who you are. Tell them about your line and tell them about your show coming up. Okay. Tell them about the 50. Y'all, he got 15,000 lines, okay? He do ties, he do clothes, he got alls, he got shoes. I don't know what he got. He got everything.
The man got threads.
Some Fats. My show, the anniversary show is going to be like a celebration of 2 years that I've been designing. It's going to be April the 21st at the Studio Prime Time. It's going to be exciting. We're going to have a lot of fun. Like KK said, she's one of my brand ambassadors for the True G collection.
Y'all heard that, huh? True G? Yes, I am.
And it's just gonna be fun because it's a big celebration. Like last year we had a smaller celebration, but this year is gonna be a huge celebration. We have like 20 designers in there. 4 of them was ATL had us nominated. It's gonna be like I'm gonna be there. Miss Vivian gonna be there. Sharon gonna be there. Morris gonna be there.
Oh.
And then,
Morris Antonio, what's up, baby?
And then we have other great designers, all the ATL. You have Bobby Cole.
Oh yes, Miss B.
I know the name. I've never. Miss B. I need to get some of them clothes.
Man, she
never model. I never modeled for her.
You talking about out the box?
Yeah, she's good. And then we got Merlin. She's on Merlin Miller. She have a new line, lingerie line. She'll be there
for me too.
Not just for. I think, oh, she might have me. I don't see the women so far.
Miss Merlin, we need some silk for the guys. You know what I'm saying? Some silky PJs, some silky shorts. Not shorts, but some shorts. You know what I mean? Maybe some house shoes to go with it.
And then there's so many of this, like Anthony with Ill Crew, he's gonna be there. Wow. And there's gonna be Dante with Rags Clothing and Mikhail, he's just came on board.
I've modeled for Rags before at your show last year.
Yeah, the show.
Sure did. I modeled for him last year. Okay.
It's gonna be nice. Then we got like 4 designers out of North Carolina. Fantabulous coming. We have Curvy Chick Network, Felicia, and then we have
I got it.
it's I think Felicia is Nicole Burton, Nicole B Design. She's one of my brand ambassadors, but she have her own line. She'll be there. And then we have a new person, Chubb with Dreams Never. I don't want to say it wrong there. I apologize.
No.
He just came on this week. He'll be there. Then,
yeah, I saw you added somebody this week.
Yes, it's a whole lot. Then we like 3 out of Virginia. Ref RJ Custom Designs.
Extravaganza.
Yeah, this is.
Then we still got 1 out of Texas, Regina with Doc Orchard, and 1 out of Michigan, Tabitha with 2BU.
So the bottom line is, there's so many designers, you know, you can't name them all. So,
Right.
So don't charge it to his head. Just charge them. I mean, don't charge it to his heart. Charge it to his head.
Yeah, yeah. But go ahead and tell them about your other lines. You mentioned True G.
And then we had a new line coming out. I got thrown behind a little bit planning for the anniversary show. The lingerie line, the DK collection, they'll be coming out. Hopefully, I'm gonna say like guys and girls.
Gee, you trying to get you some pajamas? Really? Okay.
Hey,
go ahead. So that one.
Yeah, I can't wait for that to come. I'm excited about that because we got the fabric and everything already. I don't got everything. I got my designs already done. I just have to go because I'm still I'm in the process. I sew by hand, but I'm in the process of learning how to do on the sewing machine. So I'm gonna have to get my seamstress for to help me somewhat, and I'm gonna still sew some.
So all the stuff you've been making by hand?
No, some of this stuff.
Okay. I'm about to say, what the hell? Okay.
No, some of this stuff. Like I was seamstress, and I got 2 seamstresses in Richmond, 1 in North Carolina, and I was working with someone down here. So it's like I just be everywhere. I jump because by me being from Virginia, all my people was up there. So I still go up there and get a lot of my stuff done. Like right now, she did my stuff for New York Fashion Week. I just gotta go pick it up.
Oh, wow.
So I'm already set for September as far as that's concerned.
Okay.
It's just like I'm taking a little time. You know, I've been taking a little time off. I still, you know, one time I was shows everywhere, here, there, and all around.
You were everywhere. Right, everywhere.
I just backed down for a minute because I'm trying to prepare because like starting in September, there's gonna be like a new journey for me as far as with the Big 4, with the Beautiful You tour. Like so I'll be going to Paris. I'll be doing New York Fashion Week, Paris, London, and Italy.
Wow.
So I'm just, you know, I'm trying to prepare for that as far as everything. I'm not gonna lie, trying to make sure I got money saved up.
Yeah, you gotta do, especially when you're going to Paris, London, and Italy.
Y'all hear that? Come on, y'all. Let's go fund me.
I know that's right. Hey, everybody else people starting for shoes and stuff, so why not for a trip? You know. Tell them about your oil line.
Yeah, that's the oil line. That's Sexy Oils. We'll have a new scent coming out. That's gonna be during the summertime though. We created that line last year with me and LA Carter of Comeback Magazine. He's my business partner with that. We sold out once we did the first batch. We sold out, and then we kind of got tied up with his business end, on my business end, and trying to do stuff. So I really didn't venture back into it, which I should have. But I'm getting ready to go back into it. I just want to I want to have my hands on a little bit of everything because but to have my own store, I need to, you know, you need to be able to get into everything.
Do you have that? Is that patent?
The oils?
No, we got we have the like the ingredients and everything.
I'm saying get a patent, get a trademark on it.
Oh, okay.
You need that.
Okay, we need to do that then.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I know how to do that then. Cause I know it was going. A lot of people they were going crazy over it. I know Virginia. A lot of people in Virginia. I think we sold more in Virginia. Cause when I went to Virginia, I was on business up there for like about 2 months. So a lot of people was I was giving a lot of samples out, and some people was getting stuff. So it was like it went kind of crazy up there. And then it was picking up down here a little bit. And then we kind of like they slowed the momentum down a little bit. And then you know everybody went on to that next project. So it's like mainly a lot of projects I do. Like I have like my other urban collection line, the CC collection. That's named after a friend of mine in Virginia. Because when I slowed down, started doing more fashion shows, I slowed down with the urban. So he picked up with Chuck Charles And then it's just some of everything. I'm into
You're into a look, yeah. You got a lot of lines going on, and you got a lot of products out there. So we need to let people know. Y'all, he got so many. Like I said, he got so many different lines that all I know is True G. 'Cause that's the line I'm a part of. Okay, that's all I know is True G. But we will tell you about the show again and tell them where they can get tickets and how much the tickets are.
You can get tickets from any designer that's in the show or any model in the show, or you can inbox me. We had it. Hold a minute.
Oh, that's all right. Take time.
I got them right here because I had to bring. We all prepare.
Oh, good. I need some.
Oh, yeah, got them. So we had the VIP tickets, and then we had the regular tickets right here.
These are the tickets, y'all.
Giving away tonight.
So you can purchase the ticket.
We'll get like 3 of them out to the callers.
Oh, to the callers. Okay, any callers, if you're watching and you want tickets to that second anniversary fashion show with your girl, you see me? You see my picture right now? Look at my picture on the ticket. You can call in.
What we just talked about.
Call in. And you can win tickets to the show, to Fat's second anniversary fashion show.
You got to call out one of the designers he named, though.
Oh, yeah. You ain't going to get them easy.
At least one.
You ain't going to get them easy, but here's the tickets. Let's see, I got it right there. There's the tickets.
Is there a phone number to call in?
So you guys can call in at 404-382-0417 to win some tickets to the show.
Yeah, the regular and the VIP.
So we got regular and VIP. We ain't giving away no VIPs. Now you getting a regular ticket, okay? We ain't giving away no VIPs, so don't even think about it. Really? But at any rate, now we are going to start talking about this topic. And I'm glad that we have Fats here, the designer, so he can really tell us how he feels about this topic.
Okay, before we do that, I did a history search just now, and I looked up the first Black fashion designer.
First Black fashion designer.
The first Black fashion designer, her name was fashion legend Zelda. Little technical difficulties. First fashion Black designer, her name was Zelda.
Oh,
I think so. Oh, no.
But anyway,
okay.
It was Zelda Wynn Valdez. She was the first Black designer in costume to open her own shop. She was the first Black-owned business on Broadway in 1948.
Hello.
Hello.
Spillin, the team, may I help you?
Spice Magazine, get me my ticket.
Uh-oh.
Wait, no, you don't just get no ticket like that. You got to name one of the designers he named.
No, he don't count.
He don't count. You can't name.
That was a quick move, homeboy, but not that one.
You can't name the producer of the show. So come on, you got to give us another designer.
Well, he didn't name all 20 designers, but I could make a guess.
Make a guess.
Let's see. Do I have to name the designer or the person, the designer?
The designer, whatever the designer is going to be in the show. Name one of the designers that he named was going to be in this show. It's coming up.
You went fast.
Huh?
Come on with it. Come on,
Anita Evans.
No, she's not in it. No, she's not in it. Sorry.
You didn't even name all the designers. You named about 5, 6 designers.
No, he named more than that, bro.
He named more. That means you wasn't listening. We need you to tune in. The show's from 8:30 to 10.
I was getting my thoughts together to answer the question after y'all finished interviewing Fats. That's what I was doing.
What question? Answer what question?
about should models get paid.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we haven't got that yet. But let's go ahead. All right.
I was getting my thoughts together, so I was half listening. You're right.
Okay. So
for your honesty.
but why we got you on the line, I would like for you to go ahead and answer that question then. Should models get paid?
Well, I can give you the whole scenario because I've done more fashion shows in Atlanta than anybody else, so I know. Of course, they should get paid. Of course, everybody should get paid, but in order for everybody to get paid, shows have to be done correctly, and Atlanta hasn't become a fashion city yet. In order for everybody to get paid, and I'll give you a perfect example.
Okay.
The designers are the people that pay for everybody to get paid. A designer does a fashion show.
Wait. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Hang on. You said a designer is. You said how do you say that they pay?
A designer is responsible for paying everybody.
And when you say everybody, what do you mean by everybody?
Give you a perfect example.
Okay.
If you want to do New York Fashion Week, Mercedes-Benz New York Fashion Week, as a new designer, it costs you $10,000 just to be on the B team. $10,000. Now, the promoter's job, and that's the problem in Atlanta, the promoter's job is to have buyers in the audience. Right now, we have fashion entertainment where families and friends and things like that come out to see a fashion show. You don't have people coming to actually buy clothes.
Exactly.
So designers need to pay a minimum of $1,000 to do a fashion show. So if you have 20 designers, like Fats was saying, he got 20 designers and they paid him $1,000. He got $20,000 in his budget to get a nice building, to pay the hairstylists, to pay the models, to pay the makeup artists, to have a celebrity host there, and the market to bring Macy's, Norman, Freeman's, everybody in the industry, plus the celebrities, plus the people who are interested in buying a designer's clothes, because a fashion show is designed for a designer to sell. If they spend $1,000, they should make $10,000 or $15,000, $20,000 in orders that night. And that's not happening. That's the problem. So until we get real buyers in the audience, until we get, buyers from, stores and all these boutiques who are looking to buy clothes from these designers, the promoter doesn't have the money to pay anybody because he's just struggling to break even on buying a building and paying the DJ and, getting lights and waves and all that.
My brother.
Reg, so who's responsible for finding the promoters and searching out these promoters for these upcoming shows to make sure that the buyers see them?
They what?
They don't exist in Atlanta right now because there's not a market for it.
Well, my brother Ernest Moore, hey Ernest,
What's up,
said stop having rent parties as fashion shows, and he absolutely agrees with Reginald.
Right.
And I'm gonna speak for I'm about to ruffle some feathers, but yes, I'm gonna speak from the female model aspect of it, because I'm trying to say stuff without really saying stuff, but I've had
she's trying to be careful not to burn any bridges, is what she's saying.
Right, exactly. But I've had a designer say to me, I spend so much money making these clothes, but this particular person, I know for a fact, have paid their models. Not all of them, but some of them. But my thing is to any designer, and I can even say this to Fats, and I model for him, for any designer. When you speak on the money you put out for making clothes, that means nothing to me because of what I'm putting out to be a part of your show. And this is why I feel like models should be paid.
You can't have a show without models.
But listen, but wait, let me finish. This is why I feel like models should be paid because one, not all designers, but I've had a designer to say, oh, I need you to have this. So that means I have to go out and spend money. First of all, my hair got to look decent. I got to get makeup. And all fashion shows don't supply these people to do these services for free. My nails got to look right. My feet can't be jacked up because I don't know if I'm wearing shoes with my feet out, this, that. So my thing is to the designers, I hope y'all listening, who's out there who do not want to pay these models, when you speak on what you're spending to make clothes, you still make a profit because you still can sell your clothes. We can't cut off our face and sell it after we done spent $70 for makeup. We can't pop off our nails and sell them after we done spent $50 or $60 on a full set of nails. So this is why I feel like one, and then two, they come up, they want 25,000 rehearsals. You see me walk, you know I can walk. Because if you don't think I can walk and represent your clothes, you're not going to put me in your show. So take all of that into consideration. The money we spend to look presentable, to wear your garment, to present your garment for sale that you're going to make money off. But in return, us as models, we don't receive anything. And I brought this topic up because we had this conversation in another group where one person feels like they ain't paying the models.
Spilling the tea.
They just not going to pay the models.
You're spilling the tea. You're on, caller. Name?
Hey, I want to answer a question regarding, and I think we're on a conference call right now, but I want to answer the question in regard to paying the models.
Go ahead.
I feel that there's a level to everything that's done. The designers, you know, when you have models, if you have these models modeling your clothes actually in fashion shows, and you're not getting them up to par to the point that you feel as a designer they should get paid, I think that's a problem. Anything that, or anybody that puts their time into something, especially if their work ethics are good, they deserve to be paid. And as a designer, you can't hold a model accountable for your cost because a model is a part of your cost. And you have to be at the place that you are comfortable enough to be able to pay these models if they want to continue to get you paid. See, without the models, then your clothes are really not seen that much. And so you have to take in consideration, you have to invest in the thing that you want to bring you money.
Right. Well, this particular person said that that he wanted someone to show them a receipt where they have been paid in order for him to pay them for modeling.
See, that's unprofessional because you don't base your business off of other people's businesses, and that's what the problem is with a lot of our Black businesses, is that we try to compare our business or our mishap with other people's mishap. That still doesn't make your business great. You have to have your own agenda, and you have to be professional in everything that you do. And if you think that you're going to get paid without making sure that you're taking care of the people that's getting you paid, your business shall surely fail.
That was my other point I was getting ready to make. There's two sides to it. See, the whole, you know, I was at the beginning of, you know, bringing fashion shows to Atlanta back in 2009. And what I did was create a platform for models to explore if they wanted to be a model. So no, I didn't pay models at that point because they were amateurs. They didn't have their model business together. So they were just pretty much in training. And at that point, you know, that's all we ever did. A lot of our models were, you know, first time on the runway, you know, 2 or 3 times a year. And after a year, they branched off and went on to do other things. So we had sort of like a boot camp of fashion shows where we took amateur models and, you know, gave them some basic training, you know, told them what they needed in their tool bag. Because as a professional model, you should have certain things in place. You should have done certain things in order to, you know, ask for a certain amount of money. So a lot of people, you know, have that concept where, you know, they just set up a platform, you know, because you have new models coming on the scene every day in Atlanta, and, you know, they just want to try it out and see if it's for them. So you have that level of modeling. And then the level that we're talking about now, you know, where now you've been through that program and now it's time to get paid. You know, it's just a real tough situation here in Atlanta, just to be honest. Because
that's why I said from the very beginning that there's level to everything. You know, there's beginning level, there's the beginning level. You're being trained. You know, when you're being trained, it's just like an intern in college.
But how long? But how long? I guess my question is, how long should it take for a model to get paid? I mean, I can see what you said. I can see what you said, Reginald, about the amateurs. If you know, this is your first time on the runway. Of course, you're not expected to. I wouldn't expect to get paid if it's my first time on the runway. If it's my second time on the runway, I mean, granted, I do.
Why would you expect to get paid?
Well, because first of all, I feel like this.
If I'm new, time and your effort,
right? But it's just like with everything you start out with. You gotta have somebody to give you a chance. And I can go back to medical. When I first was in nursing school, it took me to beg my own family to let me stick them so I can get these sticks so I can graduate. Somebody had to give me a chance. Finally, my aunt was like, okay, you can stick me, but if you hurt me, I'm gonna kick your ass. But she let me stick her. Right. So she gave me that first step to say, you know what, somebody gonna give me a chance. So it's the same thing with medical, the grocery store, whatever you do. So I feel like as a model, when you're just coming out as, like he said, an amateur model because you're just starting, it's okay. I feel like this is my opinion. This is not the opinion of all the other models, y'all. Keep that in mind. This is Kwana King's opinion. That if you're just starting out, I can see you doing a couple of shows to get under your belt, to get familiar with the runway, to get familiar with designers, to get familiar with walking, to do all of that stuff. But eventually, I don't think you have to be a model 15 years before somebody pay you. I think it's ridiculous for some of the models that have been out here modeling and they're not getting paid. They've been in the industry 15, 20 years and they're not getting paid. And some of these designers feel like they don't have to pay these people.
What you got to say, Mr. G?
I'm just listening right now. I'm taking it all in like Reggie.
A lot of us don't. So now when we're talking about getting paid, we have to be talking about on a professional level. So when you're on a professional level, anything that's professional is just like an occupation. Right. When you go to do it, you get paid.
Exactly.
If you're that good, and if I'm that good that you want to use me, then I'm that good that you want to pay me.
Say that.
We understand the answer models. We do understand that when you're coming in like an intern, it's for learning purposes. But when you have learned and you still continue to use me, don't think that you're going to continue to use me up. And that's the problem with Atlanta.
Just
there's a lot of people that want to use people up, come up, but they don't want to pour back into those people, knowing that they got bills to pay, knowing that they're taking them away from their children and their families in the time that they put in. That's ridiculous. And as people, now we basically talk about Black people, because when you go on another level of modeling, regardless if you go in as an intern or not, most of the time they're still going to pay you. A lot of times we come up with rules to justify us not pouring back into us, and that's the problem.
Right.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna give all the models some free advice. I'm a professional consultant, but I'm gonna give y'all this corner for free.
Go ahead.
If you're in Atlanta and you're a professional model, you get paid more money off of the runway. I don't know why everybody
wants to be on the runway. Yeah, that was coming up next too.
So focused on getting paid on the runway.
Print.
The money is off the runway, not on the runway. So I'm gonna give you that piece, and when I say off the runway, I've trained, at least 1,500 models in the last 10 years, and out of that 1,500, 5 or 10 really listened to the guidance that I gave them, and all of them are paid models today, and they are not being paid as a runway model. They don't even do runway anymore. They do print work. That's where the money is. Commercial work. You have a film industry here in Atlanta. Yeah. That's where the money is. Runway models, most of the people who want to be paid as a runway model, don't even fit the criteria to even be on the runway. Everybody's trying to create their own lane and, do this and do that. Well, when you create your own lane, that's a hard lane. And if it's not been created yet, that means there's no money there. So everybody wants to create their own style, their own thing, instead of just going to the industry and buying into the industry where all the money is. If you go to New York Fashion Week, you have to be a certain size, you have to be a certain height, and you can get paid by the best.
Yeah.
If you don't fit their criteria, then you're not going to have that opportunity. But in Atlanta, everybody can be a runway model, and there's no money in being a runway model. So, everybody's frustrated, but, anybody can be a print model.
Well, I have a friend that has a comment who I've worked with, Shalonda Zachary. I've worked with her. She works very closely with Miss Vivian Dinks, who is a fabulous designer. Yes, and one thing, I don't know, Miss Viv, you might get mad at me for saying this, but no, this is a good thing. Miss Viv pays her models.
She cooks and makes some good chili too.
But I haven't had the chili yet.
Oh man, you gotta get that chili.
Hey, all I know is she's paid her models. So she's not in that category right now that we're talking about. But Shalonda says that models are ultimately in control of their careers, and they can turn down work that is unpaid. And you're absolutely right. But I think a lot of the models, and y'all don't get me wrong, like I said, Ms. Viv done paid me. Now I can say it. She done paid me. So, I can't speak for nobody else, and I can't talk for nobody else. Miss Vivian treats her models very good. I can't speak for anybody else.
Can I get some birthday
but, I think a lot of the times the models don't turn down jobs because they feel like if they turn down a job, then they're not going to be able to get on that runway and be able to show what they can do. And a lot of times designers, they take advantage. I've seen it. Again, y'all, this is Kwana's views. This is my views. Again, I'm not new to the industry. I'm new to Atlanta's industry. I've been modeling, acting, dancing since I lived in New Orleans. Okay, so I'm not new to this. So I've been being paid for gigs, and I'm calling them gigs, but it's fashion shows, movies, videos. I've been being paid for that. Since I've been in Atlanta, I ain't been paid, except I can't lie, but from Miss Vivian. So, again, I can't speak for other designers. Fast, I've been good. We've been good. So I can't speak for other designers, and I can't speak for other models.
Right.
But, I think a lot of models, they take gigs just because they want to get out there. They want to get on the runway. They want somebody to know their name. They want somebody to know who they are, so then they can excel. But my thing is, how long do they have to do it? And Valencia, I'm gonna bring you in this. Valencia Walker, who's a
fierce,
who gives a runway class.
Man.
She had to put on Facebook. This was months ago. I really want to say it was before Christmas. And I don't know what happened. I don't know the situation went on, but she stated that giving models pictures is not payment for modeling.
Repeat that again, please.
Giving models pictures for payment, for modeling, that is not payment. Let me rephrase that. Giving models pictures for modeling is not payment.
Say it again.
So, you know, I'm just, and again, this topic came up because this was a discussion in another group. I'm good where I'm at. I'm good where I'm at. Like I said, I'm getting compensated. I'm good where I'm at. But this was a conversation that was in another group, and it spiraled out of control because models are like, "But we ain't getting paid, and we ain't." So why? My thing is, okay, so why you not getting paid? Why you not talking about getting paid? Why you not talking to your designers?
And why you not calling in tonight?
Right. Everybody quiet.
Everybody quiet now.
It's a touchy. I mean, it's
Virgil,
a touchy
still on the
subject.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Shalonda says she's turned down jobs when she was modeling, and she's turned down shows for her girls, and they still get requests.
Right.
But at the same token, in Shalonda's defense for saying that, though, you know, it's for her daughters, because they have the advantage of their mother being a part of, so she know better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of models are not fortunate like your girls are. You've been there, so you've been in the industry. You put together shows. We talked about it. You've done all of that, so you know what to accept and what not to accept for your daughters. But those other girls out there who don't have parents that are in this industry, they don't know. It's just I don't know, you know, because again,
my next
what was your next question?
I said that was my next point.
Right.
If you want to get paid as a model, 90% of models need an agent, because you don't know where most models don't understand the business. They just model. They need to hire an agent, someone that understands where the money is in the industry.
Yes,
it's a lot of money in this industry, but you know, most models they don't know that. You know, it's just like a professional football player. He plays football, but he has an agent to take him to the next level, because the agent understands how to get them in college, how to get them at the, you know, Columbines, how to get them, you know, where the real opportunities are. So that's the other thing, that piece of advice, you know, and that's my last free advice that I'm gonna give. That I'm
glad you mentioned
that,
because
right.
In Atlanta, just in Atlanta alone, it's really hard to find good agents.
Genuine people.
Just really gonna put in the work.
It's definitely hard. And the reason being, Atlanta just isn't a fashion city yet. It's coming, but it's not there yet. So you may have to reach out to somebody in California. You may have to reach out to somebody in New York. And my last one, I said I wasn't going to give anymore, but, you know.
Just go spill a tea. This is spilling the tea. You got to spill a tea.
Miami is a hub, the closest hub to get paid so you have good agents in Miami,
right,
New York, and California. You can live in Atlanta and be represented, you know, for agents.
But how do you know? How do you know how to choose an agent or choose a agency to be under? Because I'm not gonna touch that subject right now, because that's gonna really ruffle some feathers. But I'm not gonna touch that subject.
It's pretty simple now. I mean, it used to be difficult, but it's pretty simple with technology. Yeah. Just like the agent wants to interview you, you have to interview the agent. So, you know, what have you done in the last 6 months for the models in your agency? Can you send me, you know, documentation of, you know, models getting paid opportunity and what were those paid opportunities?
So answer this. So wait. So Shalonda says models have to listen. Models have to listen, obtain agents, management, and leave Atlanta. A model has to invest in themselves as well. And I totally agree, Shalonda. That's why I said, I don't know if you caught that part. I think you came in afterwards. But that's why I said in the beginning, you know, I think models should model for free. You know, in the beginning, if you're new to it, if you're new at it, if you're new to it, that you should model and not be expected to get paid. You have to invest. And exactly, Shalonda said you have to study your craft.
Exactly.
You do have to study your craft. You do. You definitely do. But again, I still think models should do free stuff. But my thing is not for 15 and 20 years. That's insane to me. That is insane. And they have models out there who are signed under agencies who are still modeling and not getting paid.
So how you gonna be signing an agent and an agency and not getting paid?
What's going on?
That's a topic for another day. Trust me, that's a topic for another day.
Y'all invite me on the show.
You come anytime you want to come, bro. 8:30 to 10:30 every Friday night.
And again, I'm asking questions that obviously the models are afraid to ask in public, because all of these questions were flowing through the group, and I told them I was going to do a show about it.
Wait a minute, hold on.
These are questions.
Hold on. Y'all hear that?
Silence.
Crickets.
So, Fats, what you have to say about this?
Yeah,
that's why you need an agent.
Yeah.
That's why you need an agent.
So, Fats,
thank you, Mr. Reginald, for calling in.
Thank you. You're welcome to come on, Reginald, anytime you want, baby.
Yeah, man.
You as a designer, how do you feel about the question, should models get paid? And if so, should the designers be the ones to pay them, or should the person who's producing the show pay the models? How do you feel about that, and what's your take on it?
I think the models should get paid, honestly. And then the shows that we be in, if it's not a show that's yours personally, designers should get paid also.
Yes.
Because we spend a lot of money. I'm not saying I'm not even saying about the clothes. You spend it being a show, and it's like Reginald was saying, it's not really getting you anywhere. But
you spend the money to be in the show to showcase your line. Like Reginald said, the problem is that you don't have buyers in the audience to buy what you're trying to showcase.
Yeah, because it's kind of wild, because you go to some shows and it could be a small show, like a small town show, and they charge you $1,000 just to be in there, and then you're not really doing anything. Because when you go to a lot of shows, a lot of times it's like you said, no buyers in the audience, and you get there, it's mainly when you have the models, like, models, the family, the friends. You really don't have. It's really. I love in Atlanta. Don't get me wrong. I love being here 2 years, and it's just like it's not too much, support on everything. It's like everybody pick and choose, like clickage and everything. If I don't deal with you,
say it again. Say that again. Use that word again.
Clickage.
What was that word?
Clickage.
If I don't deal with you, then I'm not gonna support you on your stuff. Or if you deal with somebody I don't deal with, then me or my team, we not gonna come out and support you. It's just like that with everything. That's why I be neutral with everybody. I don't really get into all that kind of stuff. I just want to enjoy myself, do it, do it and try and make it, try and make it. I don't want all that, like the craziness and the pettiness and the back and forth. I don't try and do all that.
We all in this business together. You know what I'm saying? We all in this grind together. And so why not wash each other's backs? What I mean that is, you know what I mean. Hey, you know, we all in this together. So, like I said, why is there competition? Why is this competitive in the same industry that we all in? And this circle is not that big
at all. At all.
It's not that big
at all.
So instead of us dividing amongst each other, we should be coming together and working together and bringing, like Reginald said, bringing Atlanta. That fashion world, letting everybody know, hey, Atlanta, this is where it's at. This is where, okay, y'all got New York, y'all got Miami, y'all got Chicago, we got Atlanta, and this is what we're doing here. As a group, as a whole, as an industry. Instead of everybody fighting against each other and you know, bickering about this is my, we don't need all that.
Crabs in the bucket, Mr.
Crabs in the bucket.
Yeah, it's basically. Well,
I mean, again, whoa. Hey, Ernest is 404-382-0417. Hey, Noah, how are you?
Hey, Noah, I ain't heard from you in a long time.
It has been a long time.
I follow you on Facebook, though. I still follow you on Facebook.
Stop it. But again, I have to agree with what Shalonda said. You know, again, this goes back to the models and the free shows. Like she said, the free shows will help you build your resume. And that's why I'm saying, when you step out the gate, I'm stepping out the gate saying I want to get paid right away. Because I know stepping out the gate, it's a lot of things that you have to learn. And again, Shalonda, I totally agree with you, because you have to study your craft to become that professional, like Angela said, to their levels.
Whatever you do.
Their levels. So you have to study your craft. Ladies, models out there who want to get paid and don't know how to walk the runway, don't know how to do steps and turns. Thank you, Tina Bridges, for teaching me how to do steps and turns, baby, because that I did not know how to do without falling on my ass. So thank you. But you know, it's a win. I don't know how to say it, but you know,
should be a win-win.
I'm putting it out there, y'all. This ain't my question, okay? Because like I said, I get paid. So this ain't my question. But I'm putting it out there for the people. 404-382-0417, Ernest. 404-382-0417. But again, like Mr. G said, I'm just being a voice for the people. These are questions that came to me, so I decided to do this topic on the show. So,
Cricket, but then just like I said, just like with the show with that anniversary show, it's like that's why I look at it like a celebration. Everybody's, it's not like a competition. Like one of my friends said, our nature is competitive. We really don't want to see our brother to see if we don't, and that has to change. It's just like I want to, you know, you want to get the. I
came from the Jim Crow area, but I ain't want to gossip shit. Y'all ain't heard that from me.
I want, you know, I want to get, you know, with my show, like we got designers from all around, and all designers that work together and be together, just like me, Vivian, Morris, and Sharon. You know, we always in the ATL had us. You know, we always nominate. We all gonna be there. We all support each other and support each other's shows when we have other stuff. And then with that show, it wasn't really, you know, I didn't do no fees for nobody. It just was it's a celebration,
right? Because this is not, at least with your show that's coming up, what we were talking about earlier. Your show is actually an anniversary show. It's not really a fashion. It's a fashion show, but it
just celebrate. Yeah, just celebrate.
He said, "I heard you." He said, "Ernest." It's just a celebration show, but you know, I love modeling. I love modeling. It's fun. It's, you know, but again, and that goes with another question that was put into this group is why do we have to sell tickets? Now that's my question. That's one of my questions. So even though I'm the voice for other people, that question is one of my questions.
Calling you spilling the tea.
Why?
What's your name, Colin?
You're on the air with Spilling the Tea.
This is Ernest. How you doing?
Hey, Ernest, hold that thought. Hold that thought for me real quick.
She wants
so yeah, my thing is like, why do we have to sell tickets. I mean, of course, we're going to sell tickets because we want our friends to come. We want our families to come. We want them to come see us. But I really don't feel like it should be mandatory for a model to sell tickets to a show.
Well, any production, any type of production, whether it's acting, whether it's a fashion show, you should have a marketing team. That's what your marketing team is for.
Right.
Is to sell those, to get that information out there so tickets will sell.
Right.
It's our job to just show up
and do what we do.
Walking coat hangers.
Do what we do.
That's all we are. Since we saying that, hold on. I feel you, E. I'm coming. We coming.
We coming.
We're walking coat hangers. That's all we are. It is not your job to tell a designer what you don't want to wear. That designer sees a vision on you with their clothes. That's why you're in that particular design.
Right.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Hey, Mr. Ernest.
Mr. Ernest, what you got to say?
Hi.
Glad to hear y'all back.
What you doing, man? Walking or you running?
I'm sorry?
You walking or you running?
Turn them up a little bit.
Neither.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what you got to say, Mr. Moore?
Okay, so there's so many topics I want to address. That brought up a great point. One, we gotta stop acting like your show or this show is the end all be all in shows. It's not. We need to, and I intended to do this before.
Ernest, baby. Ernest, what you doing? What you doing? What you doing?
Breathing
Is
hard.
it better?
Because whatever you're doing, it's coming across like you beating something.
You breathing hard. That's why I asked you if you walking or running, bro. That's why I asked you that question. I wasn't being funny, but coming across on this end.
Okay, now it's better. Better. Okay, now go ahead.
Okay. So I wanted to get together with all the so-called producers, all the designers, and have one major fashion show here in Atlanta. It fell on deaf ears. Because for some reason, like Pat said, it's so cliquish here in the small circles that nobody wants to join forces with the other and give up their shine to somebody else. So that's number one. Number two, you have fashion shows here that are for a cause, right?
Right.
Some fashion shows are for nonprofit organizations. 100 Men Walking was a prime example, right? No proceeds went to me. As a matter of fact, I lost money both years, even though we sold out. But it was more important to get the brotherhood like we have now, Saga, Garrett, Darren, Robert, Brian, and the list can go on and on and on.
Right.
That was more important than the actual fashion show itself. So you have some fashion shows like that. Then you have, just like I said, you have some fashion shows that are rent parties. Okay, you try to get paid. You're not focusing on the models. You can care less about them. You can care less about the designers. All you're concerned with is, at the end of the day, how much money do we make, and can I pay my rent or my mortgage with this? That's it. So we have to be a little bit more selective in who we want to walk for.
Amen.
Okay? So that's number three. Number four, everybody knows who Team EMI male models are. We are the only, so when people tell us we'll give you recognition or whatever, Garrett don't need to be recognized. Garrett was on CNN. Brian Walker don't need to be seen. He was on CNN. We brought CBS 46 to Atlanta. Vince and the rest of them, thanks to Mike Robb. I'm gonna give shout outs where they're due. We don't need notoriety. We don't need your pictures. If you're going to pay us, great. If my guys tell me, hey, I want to go do this fashion show and it's free, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do.
Right.
But they get paid. They've been paid. My models have been paid. And it's sad because, like Reginald said, designers are the ones who are supposed to pay for everything. Why? Because you're trying to sell your product. The models are not, the models are walking mannequins, walking hangers, as y'all call them. It's not their job to sell tickets and so forth and so on unless it's for a cause.
Right.
Unless it's for a cause.
Right.
But I've had designers' clothes put in boutiques because the boutique owner came to one of our fashion shows. That's what a fashion show was all about. All this other rapping and singing and girls doing gymnastics and all this.
Boy, you better talk about it.
That's a sideshow. The whole purpose is to get your clothes in a store. Period. You're not supposed to even be selling individually to the people in the audience because the people in the audience are supposed to be buyers at stores.
Right.
You don't see Yves Saint Laurent going to his grandmother, his mom, his sisters, and them saying, yo, go out there and sell 20 tickets. We'll put these flyers on these cars and whatnot. No, because the people that are that he's selling to are store owners.
Hey,
they own stores.
Brenda say, hey, B.
Last but not least, there's a difference between a designer and a stylist. A designer actually makes clothes on a sewing machine.
Or they hand sew.
Or they hand sew. Yeah, you better speak. You better.
From scratch.
Say it.
I love everybody. I love everybody who is trying to get their way into the industry. T-shirts don't make you a designer. It makes you a stylist. And we have to know the difference between the two.
Put it on the cover.
Put it out there.
Build the damn tea.
Okay, you are spilling the tea tonight, Ernest. Go ahead.
So if you go to Goodwill or Salvation Army and you go in there and you back up some items from there and you take that and go put a model in that, you can make that. You can make that. And I'm going to tell you straight up, I've done fashion shows here where I was featured or whatever. I tell people all the time, I'm not a designer. I can't sew a button on. I am a stylist. The items that you see that these models are wearing, I've worn, or accessories that I bought for them. And Garrett will attest. I bought accessories for them.
Yes, you have.
I'm not a designer. I'm a stylist. I style only men, not women. So I don't want anybody to take what I'm saying and run with it the wrong way.
Oh, don't try to retract it. You done said it now.
No, this is what he's fitting to
I'm not a designer.
Okay.
I'm not. I'm a stylist. That's it. That's all.
Thank you for spilling the tea, Mr. E.
Oh, that rhymes.
But you know what? But you know what, Ernest? Like for me, you know, how do you know who's not a designer? Because I have modeled for someone before, and then after the fact, I found out that they didn't make them clothes, but they're calling themselves a designer. So, I mean, how do you know you're not modeling for a legit designer? Like I know Miss Vivian make her clothes. I done seen her. I know Fats make his clothes. I done seen him. I know Lamar Clickety Clack. I know he make his stuff. I know Ryan Coleman make his stuff.
Absolutely.
Miss Sharon, I was just at her house the other night. She had stuff all over the place at the sewing machine. So I know she makes her own stuff. All these other folks who I've never modeled for, I don't know. Oh, Morris. I know Morris make his stuff.
What about Miss Vanessa?
I've never modeled for her.
She got sewing machines.
I don't know who makes their clothes and who don't. So, you know, how do you know who's a designer and who's not?
I can answer that question for you. All you got to do is look on the inside of the tag. Look on the inside of the garment. It'll tell you. It'll tell you. Now, if you got something that says Ralph Lauren, you know that designer didn't make that.
Did I just say that? Gucci,
Prada, whatever, you know that designer didn't make that. So the only way to find out, Double K, is to actually experience it. So when you go to a fashion show as a model and you're trying on garments, look on the inside and see who made that.
Again, that's another way. That's doing your homework.
Right.
That's doing your homework.
Yeah.
That's perfecting your craft. And like Shalonda said, you can't be a part-time model if you try to be serious with this.
Who said that?
Shalonda said you have to.
Oh yeah, Shalonda. Yes, you do. You have to, and that's just with anything. You want to be an actor or actress, you got to practice your craft. You want to be a doctor, you want to be a nurse. I had to practice. I had to practice my craft. You have to practice with anything you do. If it's truly in your heart and you want to do it, you got to practice that craft. And
you could tell the experienced models are the ones who are serious from those who are just there for one time or whatever, or doing this as a hobby. Okay, they know the mannequin turn, right? They know a quarter turn, half turn, 3/4 of a turn.
Right.
They know not to look down when they're walking. They know how to look at a spot and focus on a spot. They know how to interact with the audience and so forth and so on. These are experienced models. So to answer your question, Double K, about when should one become professional, if you come to a casting call and you don't have, what is that called? I can't remember.
A comp card? A comp card?
You don't have a comp card, you're not a professional.
Well, listen, I done went to a model call without a comp card, so don't you dare call me not professional. No, I'm just kidding. I gotta win. Wait a minute, no. But listen, Mr. Jerry, wait, I gotta put my, y'all know I'm getting old. I can't see without my damn glasses. Mr. Jerry Barnes said every model should get paid according to their skill set.
Exactly.
So, Mr. Barnes, I'm asking you this question. Every model should still get paid something, or depending on their skills, should they get paid at all? Answer that question for me real quick, Mr. Barnes. But yeah, go ahead, Ernest, and finish.
No, that's pretty much it. Everybody can't just walk into this industry and say they want to get paid.
Right.
You can't. You have to build up a portfolio. Okay, and in that portfolio, then you can take your comp card, your portfolio, because on your comp card, it's going to have your measurements, it's going to have all that on there, but you don't have to fill out mounds of paperwork to explain who you are and why you should model. Another thing, when you're at casting calls, here's another thing. Most designers are not even at the casting calls.
Right.
So how do you know? How do you know? I'll give you another example. You don't need all these rehearsals. Garrett, you're a perfect example. When we did 100 Black Women with Dwight Eubanks, we didn't have rehearsals, 5, 10 rehearsals before. You came early that day. You met with the designer. The designer said, try this on. You fit it, you fit it. You didn't walk for that designer. You walk this way, come back. That's it. You don't need all these productions and rehearsals and people spending gas money to and from. And like the young lady said, leaving their kids behind and their families behind and come out there. It's too much.
Well,
it's too much.
Now, if you're doing, the only thing I can agree with rehearsals and things of that nature, I can speak on the Miss Vivian. When she did her retro show.
That's different.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. She had acts. She had skits. She had things going on. So that calls for rehearsals. But when absolutely. But when you want me to just come model a garment down the runway, why are you asking me to come to 6 rehearsals? to just watch me walk, just constantly watch me walk. And I've been to some of these rehearsals where I'm just walking over and over and over and over and over and not changing nothing about it. You just got me walking around this room all these hours. And then when these models don't want to go to these rehearsals, I mean, this, I don't know if it's been said, well, I always go to the rehearsals, but, you know, it's been said that, oh, well, she thinks she's too good to go to rehearsal, or she think, well, then she not going to walk. But you see me walk 1,000,000 trillion times. Why do I need to come to 6 rehearsals? Unless you Vivian Dinks, I ain't coming to no damn 6 rehearsals, okay? It don't make no damn sense.
Say it again.
She just spilled the tea.
I mean, hey, I just spilled because
she just turned the cup over.
And listen, and I'm saying that because Miss Vivian do freaking productions, okay? She don't do regular fashion shows.
Right,
so there's a difference.
She's
out of the norm. She's out of the box.
So
she's out of the norm. So you can expect rehearsals. But when you just throwing a fashion show together, and if you ain't Vivian Dinks, I ain't doing it.
Well, again, like Ernest was saying, if you're a professional model, and this is again to who's putting on these productions,
right?
If you know you're dealing with professional models,
right?
A model should only have to look at a run. He can just look at a runway and know what he needs to do.
What he needs to do.
That's all. He needs to do. You know, maybe one rehearsal just for a run through.
One.
Just one.
I can see one.
Unless they're doing a production,
that's what
like a opening scene or a closing scene or something like that.
Hey, Miss Connie. Yeah,
right, because now you're modeling with other models, and you have to be in sync with other models.
Right.
So if you got 4 or 5 models walking down the runway, you need to rehearse for that.
Right.
But for just a single walk,
no, it doesn't make sense. And see, this is where, again, for everybody that's just tuning in, we are talking about models and why they should be paid or why not, and who should pay the models, the designers or the production people that's putting on the show. And to reiterate what you just said, Ernest, is this is the reason why, and I am so surprised that these phones are so quiet tonight, because these questions are questions that other models have asked.
Yeah, you hear it all the time in the green rooms and the cattle hall.
Yeah, they tired, they want to get paid, they don't want to do no more shows. So I decided to do this as a topic. Again, these are not my thoughts. I'm good.
What's other people?
Totally agree with you, Kwana. Hey, Robin. I'm good, but these are questions. I'm good where I'm at. I'm good with modeling for Miss Vivian. I'm good with modeling for Fat. I'm good where I'm at. So these are what time is it? Oh,
go ahead, Mr.
10:30.
We wanted to get a break, so
we need no damn break.
Go ahead, Mr.
Hey, but let me finish. So these are questions that other people are asking, and when you talk about getting into these 5 and 6 rehearsals just for a regular fashion show, yet again, you're going into money that a model is putting out for gas. Then they're putting out their time. So then that's additional to the money that they have to pay to get their hair done. And, again, certain designers, they want you to have certain bras or certain this for the women. Certain things that now you need to go out and buy to wear this particular garment. So, again, like I said earlier, for those of y'all who tuning in, I can't pull off my $70 face of makeup and give it to somebody. So, I'm not getting a return. You so sick. I'm not, and I'm saying but this is not my view. This was a conversation that I'm having. So I don't want nobody out there to think this is me. When it's me saying it, I'm gonna say this coming from me. But this was just something that was discussed, that you gotta pay to get your hair done, you gotta pay to get your nails done, and your feet gotta look decent because you don't know what kind of shoes you gotta wear, and you need makeup. If you add all of that up for a model for one fashion show, you're looking at a model putting out anywhere from $150 to $200 to be in a show. that they're not getting any type of return on.
And we're not even being fed. Can't even get a bottle of water in some of these shows.
Well, I ain't gonna say that. Not the people I'm out for and work for.
Again. Now I'm saying I'm the voice of the people.
But that's why I won't work with women, because I know they have all these extra things.
Right.
Guys can come to the fashion show with a towel and a little bit of juice, and we good, right? That's all they need.
So in other words, you being cheap. You don't want to use a woman model because you don't want to pay her because she got to put out a lot of money. What's up with you, Ernest?
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
That's what you just said. Yes, it.
No.
Yes. That's what you just said. Because you know, listen, this is what you said. This is what you said. That's why I don't deal with women, because I know they got to put out too much. So, but why you can't pay them?
But you didn't let me finish. You cut me off.
Yeah, because you were saying the wrong thing.
Just cut him off.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
I said.
Hey, listen. You know I gotta play devil. You know I gotta play devil's advocate. You know I gotta play devil's advocate.
Let the man talk. Okay. Go ahead.
It's easier for a guy. Number one. Number two. My market is men. My market is creating gentlemen, period. That's my market, okay? There's a whole host of reasons why I'm creating gentlemen, and that's a whole other topic. That's just to answer your point right there. Two, this is another thing. Everybody is not a model instructor. I see all these modeling boot camps and people teaching and this, that, and the third. Everybody is not a model teacher.
A model coach?
Or a model coach.
Right.
Just because you walk in, let's say, 10 fashion shows, that doesn't make you a model coach.
Oh my God. Ernest, don't be spilling too much tea now.
Spill it, damn it. Spill it.
Hey, I'm keeping it 100.
Keep it, man.
We appreciate it.
Keep it 100.
Because here's the thing. If you go to this model coach, this model coach may not give you all the tools you need.
Come on now.
And you're paying for it. Then when you get to a fashion show, you don't look right. Right? Now you have to reinvest again into another model coach. So, like somebody said, you have to do your homework on these model coaches.
And that's what Shalana
you have to
said.
do your homework on these designers.
Right.
You have to do your homework on these production people. The whole nine. It's not just, oh, I done walked in 10 fashion shows here in Atlanta, now I'm a professional. No, you're not all the time. And you come to a fashion show with, I'm just using this as an example, a trash bag. You don't have a suitcase. Your stuff isn't organized. This, that, and the third. There's a whole. I'm just keeping it real.
No, I mean,
keep it, bro. You damn sure keep it real.
Just keep it real, because again, these are questions that was asked in this group. And they want to hear it. They want to hear it.
Whether they want to hear it or not, tell it any damn way.
Spill it to you.
Hey, can I just put this out there too?
Come on with it.
Okay, go ahead.
Can y'all women please stop bouncing when you walk? Oh my God.
I put on for my city. I put on for my city.
Hi, how are you? Well, I mean, I don't bounce when I walk. So,
No.
But see, the thing about it is that goes back to say what you say about the coaches. You don't know if the coaches are teaching these. I mean, whoever's teaching these classes, you don't know if they're teaching them to bounce and do all of this kind of stuff, So that goes back.
Again, that's when you have to do your own homework.
Right.
You have to do your own research. There are. You can go on YouTube. There are classes. This stuff. Just you have to do your homework.
You do.
And videos out there. Also, Kwana and everybody else there. I made mistakes here. I made mistakes here. I learned from those mistakes. I didn't always do my fashion shows correctly. I didn't know how to do them, which is why I got somebody who was well known in the industry to do it. The first show, G, do you remember who our model coach was? I'm gonna tell you her name, Felicia Bynum.
And she was fierce.
And I'm gonna tell you, 90% of the models that are in Atlanta, maybe not 90, 70% of the models that are in Atlanta came up under Felicia. That's real rap.
Yeah.
And you know how I know? I saw it. I was there. Now I'm turning over the whole teapot. I seen it.
You turn over the teapot. Listen to you.
Not the cup. I'm turning over the whole pot. I seen it.
Hey, bruh, trust me. I know. I've seen it too. And like I said, I've been under her instructions, so I know she's fierce. She don't play the radio. She's serious. When you walk in that room, you better be ready to work. Don't come in there with no BS. Don't come in there gossiping. Don't come in there on your phone. You better be ready to work. If not, she's gonna send you right back out the door.
None of that. Exactly.
Well, I mean, like
that's all I got.
The bottom line is, again, going back to what Shalonda said, of course, we're never going to resolve the issue of, it's just our opinions and questions of models in the industry and, designers in the industry. We're never going to come to an agreement about it. But again, back to what Shalonda said, you have a right to turn down any unpaid gigs as a model. But also keep in mind that when you're doing free shows, you're building a resume. And again, like Mr. Ernest said, research your designers, research your modeling agencies or agents, or research anything before you get into it.
Research everybody. How about that?
Just research everybody. And, all I can say is eventually models will get paid. How and when and who, we can't say. But we all can agree that they feel like designers should pay the models that model for them. Because that was a collective agreement. That's
a fact.
Right. Designers should pay the models in some shape, form, or fashion. It doesn't have to be monetary, but it don't have to be no damn pictures either. Okay?
It can be clothes.
It can be, right. But that's what I'm saying. In some shape, form, or fashion. You choose what you want to do. But again, if you want to become more professional at what you do, and I will keep saying this and I will keep bringing this up when we talk about this subject, like Shalonda Zachary said, study your craft. Study your craft.
Can I say this too?
Yes.
Can I say this too?
Yes.
A brand ambassador.
Oh, Lord.
If you are
I was trying to avoid that.
Ambassador, you cannot wear other designers' clothes if you're a brand ambassador. If you're a brand, I'll give you an example.
Well, let's go back. Go back. Wait. If you're a paid, let's go back. If you're a paid, let's make that clear. And I wish I could go back and pull it up and speak. Shalonda, you all in this conversation tonight, girl. You should have been here. Because I don't know what happened, but she posted that months ago about brand ambassadors. Again, like I know what you were going to say, Ernest, because you and I have had this conversation. If you're a brand ambassador for somebody, you should be getting paid to be a brand ambassador. Because, but if you're a brand ambassador, you should not be wearing another designer's clothes.
Exactly.
And give that explanation you were about to give about Nike, Ernest.
Is that what it is?
Michael Jordan was a brand ambassador for Nike. Okay, before he had his own shoes, he was a brand ambassador for Nike.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see him wearing Adidas or any other shoes. He wore Nike.
Right.
To your point of being paid, if you're a brand ambassador for a designer, you should be on a contract with that designer. You should know whether or not you're getting paid to be a brand ambassador, or you're wearing the designer's clothing. The designer is making outfits specifically for you.
Right.
Okay. That's a brand ambassador. But what we see now is we see brand ambassadors wearing everybody's clothes. So who are you really branding for? That's just like me saying my brand is Team EMI, but I'm using this name because I love her. I'm down with TLA and everything they do. So I do more with just as much for Team EMI as I do for TLA. But you can't do that. You have to establish your own brand. And if you are V Dinks' brand ambassador, well, you can't be rocking Ryan stuff off the runway. Now,
okay, so now I'm glad you mentioned that. So now we got to get back to, like you said, brand ambassadors. So
hey,
each
JT
designer.
Said hi.
What's up, JT? So each designer, how many brand ambassadors should each designer have?
That's a good question, G.
Because when I hear brand ambassador, I'm thinking a brand ambassador is only one. Say out of 10 models he got. Let's just say you got 10 models, right? And you should only have one brand ambassador, right? Because it's not brand. You're not saying brand ambassadors. Brand ambassador. You want to say?
Am
I wrong?
You gotta say
If
something.
I'm wrong,
Come on, guys, say something.
Because
I
think I'm all of I do so much stuff differently because I've been told that by a couple people I have two
But
people.
you got different lines though. What I'm saying,
You have
only
a brand
got one
ambassador
line.
for each one of your
One
lines.
line.
That's different.
Right.
As opposed to one designer. Okay,
Right.
like one designer you have that has one line. What I think Ernest is saying is, why do you have 3 brand ambassadors for one line? As opposed to you,
No,
you
that's
got
not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
What
are you saying?
No, what I'm saying is, if you're a model and you're a brand ambassador for, let's say, Fat, okay, you should not be a brand ambassador for, let's say, Mark Antonio.
Okay, now question. I got a question for you. That's what I was trying to get to. So if you got 5 models and you only got one of those models as a brand ambassador, then that one that's your brand ambassador cannot model for, say, Fats, but your other models could, right?
Exactly.
Okay, that's what I was trying to establish.
And again, I might be wrong, so I would love to hear feedback from your audience.
The designers or somebody.
I just found that out tonight, honestly.
Yeah.
I was talking, and then I found out they were like that. You know, I was just told that I never really knew that because, like, so I'm still learning myself too. I've been doing it for like 2 years.
We're all learning.
But I found that out tonight. It was like if you can't have a brand ambassador for like 2 or 3 different designers at one time, you know, you can't be a brand ambassador for me, this person, that person. I didn't know
because you're not. I mean, who like you said, who you branding?
Yeah,
well,
when you wearing the clothes, you don't know who clothes you're wearing because you're wearing them for so many different people.
And I can honestly say that because I got that without an explanation at the time, because Miss Vivian, I was her brand ambassador. But then when she found out I was your brand ambassador, she's like, well, you can't be my brand ambassador too. And I was like, well, why not? I can model for you and I can model for him. And I think it was about 3 months later that Shalonda came up with this post she put about what is a brand ambassador, what is a model, what is a designer.
I answered it.
Yeah, I remember you did, but she put that out there. So I mean, but I mean, is it fair to say that because I'm Fat's brand ambassador, I can't model for someone else? So now you can model for somebody else, but you can't be their brand ambassador too. Oh, okay, I got you.
Right.
Okay, I thought you were saying if I'm like I'm Miss Vivian's brand ambassador, but then I can't model for Fats, or vice versa. If I'm his brand ambassador, I can't model for Miss Vivian. That's what I thought you were saying. But what you're saying is, if I'm Vivian's brand ambassador, I can be her brand ambassador, but I can't be a brand ambassador for anybody else.
Yeah. Unless it's in the contract. Unless it's in the contract.
Okay.
So if you're Fats's brand ambassador, you should be under contract for Fats.
Got you.
Period. Now, that will outline as one of my favorite sayings, clearly defined objectives. I know what I'm getting into before I get into it.
Right.
So if that says, Kay, you're my brand ambassador, you can walk for other people, but you can't be their brand ambassador. As my brand ambassador, you'll get to wear my clothes outside the runway. So you're taking pictures on a runway or on a red carpet, or you're just doing it on your phone or whatever. You should be rocking Fatson's gear because you're selling his product as his brand ambassador.
Okay. Okay.
That's how it should go.
Okay. I just Googled what is a brand ambassador.
Okay.
Come on with it.
Come on with it.
It says a brand ambassador is to be the face of a brand, grow your following, earn cash. Well, I don't know about the help the homeless. I don't know where all that comes from. But anyway,
let's see. Community service,
fitness and apparel. And you should get 50% profits. Go to the needy or something that's affordable or quality.
Right.
I'm gonna give you an example because G hit the nail on the head. Khayr.
Yes.
Our little Khayr.
Yes.
Okay. Although he's under the Team EMI Male Models logo, he is a brand ambassador for Rivet Clothing. He wears their clothing.
Yes.
If you want to buy something, you go through Khayr's code. He is a brand ambassador. He's not a brand ambassador for C Denim. He's not a brand ambassador for Mr. Gillespie. He is a brand ambassador for Rivet Boys Clothing only. They have a contract.
Right. That's right. I just found another definition of a brand ambassador too. We're talking about it. Y'all got me rolling on the brand ambassador now. But anyway, a person, especially a celebrity, who is paid to endorse or promote a particular company's products or services.
There you go. It's right there. It's right there.
So again, it goes back to what we said. As a brand ambassador, you're promoting that brand. You're building that brand of that designer.
Absolutely.
But we never did answer the question of how many brand ambassadors should one designer have?
How many? We got Morris Antonio in his house.
Alibi brand.
Alibi is in the house.
Takeover, baby.
All right, Mark. Hey, Miss Sharon. We got Morris in the house. Hey, Morris.
What up, people?
Tell them how many brand ambassadors you have.
I ain't gonna lie, I got about 12. I got 12. I mean, everybody brings a different element to what I have going on. That's why I have 12 people. I can do something different with each and every individual that I have. That's why I have 12 people. Garrett is one of them.
What the hell that's supposed to be?
Yeah, Garrett is one of my faces for the Morris Antonio brand.
Okay, so Morris, you just came in on the end, but I want to ask you this question because you missed it. We were talking tonight about models and should they be paid, and if they should be paid, who should pay them? The designers or the directors of the production that's being put together?
You ask me, I'm gonna be honest, director that's putting the show together because they the ones putting all these entities together. You know what I'm saying? Because they the ones trying to put the show on. So without the designers or the models, you wouldn't even have a show.
Exactly.
Period. I mean,
different perspective.
some designers, I mean, for different shows or different reasons, yeah, they should get paid because they're taking their time out and everything to do the things that you need done. But other than that, for a fashion show, I think the director and whoever's putting the show together need to pay the models and the designer. And even if he just break bread with the designer's gonna
break bread with the models. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's really how it should go.
That's how it should go.
Exactly.
That's how it should go. And that's what I'm gonna implement with this hostile takeover.
The hostile takeover, baby.
That's what I'm doing.
It's coming.
Tell us about the hostile takeover.
Oh man, it's just a
y'all ain't ready.
Takeover. It's just a coalition of designers just trying to get paid. Designers and models just trying to get paid.
Y'all ain't ready.
That's all we're trying to do. We're trying to take the game back in our hands, where the designers and the models, you know what I'm saying, are the forefront, not the promoter. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the hostile takeover is about.
And when is it again?
It's gonna be in August. August, it's supposed to be the 25th, but I might have to change the date, being that Jay-Z gonna be in town. So I don't want no competition.
No competition with Jay. Okay.
You know
well, we'll get you back on. We'll get you back on the show. Yeah,
go ahead. Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Morris brought up a great point. Date courtesy. Why would you decide to have a fashion show the same day another person is having a fashion show?
I never understood that. I never understood that.
The thing about that is, here in Atlanta, everybody's doing a fashion show. Mm-hmm. That's, and you can't get around that. Everybody's doing a fashion show.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can plan.
Yeah.
You can plan.
It's just going to step on.
And if these promoters and designers get together like they're supposed to, like we should, I said we, like we should, then I don't know that Morris is doing the show on August 25th and not do a show on August 25th. Or have a rehearsal on August 25th. Because I may need some of those models that Morris is using at this show. Or I may need Morris at this show. Why? It's not fair for Morris to have to go from Gwinnett County to Cobb County or Clayton County because he's on a fashion show up in Gwinnett and another one in Cobb or Clayton. That's not right. That's not right. Date courtesy is so important, but then again, that goes back to the crabs in a barrel syndrome.
Yeah,
everybody's trying to pay their rent off these fashion shows.
Rent party.
Yeah, but you got some people that want to step on toes too. You know what I'm saying? So that can be, everybody want to be competitive instead of connecting. You know,
then we need just
compete. We need to connect instead of compete.
Many egos.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't even be competition,
It shouldn't even be competition at all. It shouldn't even be competition.
It should not be competition. Like Garrett said earlier, we're a small community. We're not big. This ain't New York, Paris, Milan, LA. We're a small community. We all trying to come up. And if we come together to come up, we will come up. But if we keep doing this individually and, I'm not gonna model for this person, or I'm not gonna walk for this person, or I'm not gonna be in this show, or I don't like the way this person did such and such and such, instead of going to that person and saying, hey, look, I would have preferred you handle me this way, or so forth and so on, then we can grow. But we're not going to grow as long as we keep that cookish mentality. It's not going to work. And we'll forever be second rate to all the other major fashion cities.
Gangbangers on the runway.
Yeah, like Miss Sharon is on it. She said that before you plan a fashion show, you should do your research to see what's happening on the day that you plan on, do the show, see if there's anything else going on. But again, people just don't care. It's competition. It is competition.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that's the problem. There are lots of problems.
Yeah, we just got to get out of that mentality of competing, man, and just try to connect and try to come together and do this thing as one. And make it be like one big family, let all the avenues, let everything through fashion roll through us.
That's what I said, and let Atlanta and let the people know, hey, this is where it's at. Like, this is where Atlanta. This is where everybody they come here for every damn thing.
So,
right?
Right about that.
So why not come here to get your fashion, see your fashion, or to get your garments, get these garments put in your stores,
exactly,
or your boutiques.
Exactly.
On movie sets.
On movie sets.
But do designers?
Video.
That's a good question to ask, and I can ask you too, since I have two designers
In my closet.
I mean, are you guys as designers, when you're putting on shows like you're getting ready to do this big hostile takeover, I'm not gonna really say this show because this is more like a free show. It's just an anniversary. You're just celebrating. But you as designers, do you go out and seek buyers to invite them to your show, or do you have a marketing team or promoting team to do that?
I do both.
Can I answer that question?
No, I ain't talking to you.
Hold on, Miss E.
Me, I do both. You know what I'm saying? I go out personally myself and get the buyers, and I have a team to do that too. You know, that's all I want at my fashion show. I don't really want spectators. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like when these people throw fashion show, that's all that be there. People just want to see a show. I want.
They have no idea what they're looking at.
No idea what they're looking at. You know what I'm saying? Don't know if they're looking at Fat Skill or mine or whoever else's. But what I want to do is just let everybody forget all about that.
You want investors. You
Investors.
want people that's
investors and buyers in the crowd, and not only investors and buyers, but casting directors, movie directors.
Exactly.
I mean, anything that can help the models get out there and also help the designers get out there. Help designers get in the stores or whatever. Help models get on TVs or whatever they try.
Or even get your line, and like you say, in a movie. You know what I'm saying? You as their wardrobe.
And what about you, Fats? I know you're kind of new to the designing thing, like you said, but I know you've already had an opportunity to get your clothes in the store in Virginia. So but. And that's good for a newcomer, and there's designers that have been out there for years that don't have their clothes. So are you looking to have buyers and investors, even at your anniversary show, even though it's a celebration show?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having them there, honestly, because
he wants y'all there. Ain't mind. He wants to show up.
Cause it's gonna be some of everybody, so it's got that's the perfect place because everybody. Like I said, 20 designers, so you got designers from all like 5 or 6 different states that's gonna be here. So it's gonna, it's outside of celebration. It could be a good opportunity. Hopefully, it just depends for us with everything going. I don't know how they reach out to the different people and everything, but it'll be a good opportunity if they can come because they got so much to choose from. Cause everybody bring a different aspect to it. You got the herb, you got the dress, you got the after 7, you got everybody brings a different aspect to far as working together, and it's like everybody complement each other.
So the bottom line is pretty much each designer pretty much should have his own marketing and promoting team.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the bottom line?
Yeah, I mean it's a business.
Is all hearts and minds are clear?
What you got, Mr. E?
He got us in church. Ernest, you still there?
Yeah, he's still.
Yeah, I'm still here. RMW1, the first RMW, we had buyers from boutiques and our VIP section, and I'd say about 5 designers actually had an opportunity to meet with these boutique owners to put their items in their store. Real rap. That to me, and I might be wrong, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. That's the whole purpose of a fashion show, is to get your items put into a boutique.
Right.
Or a store.
Not rap songs and dance recitals,
gymnastics,
and everybody eating popcorn and
Oh, I just got Miss Tina Bridges tuned in. Hey, Tina, I was talking about you earlier.
TLA, baby.
Thanking you for teaching me my runway walk and turn and step and all that stuff. Giving you your props, Miss Bridges. Thank you. But
ATL's hottest.
Yep, ATL hottest, Miss Tina Bridges. But again, it still goes back to the beginning of everything we said. Models should be paid, point blank, period. They should be paid. Again, doesn't have to be monetary. but I think they need to be paid for their time. And again, Morris and I talked about this, where we kind of text back and forth about this a couple of days ago. And Ernest, we talked about it too earlier. You know, we do not need to have 7 damn rehearsals, okay, for a fashion show. Okay? I'm not coming to 7 damn rehearsals for you to watch me walk up and down the damn runway 50,000 times. I'm not doing
Kwana speaking.
Yeah, that's me. You know that's me.
Or around in a circle.
Or just walking around in a circle 50,000 times. I can take 1 rehearsal, maybe 2. 2 is my max. Again, unless you're putting on a production where there's skits and whatever that requires rehearsals, that's all fine and good. But y'all can't keep asking these models to come out there for 6 and 7 damn rehearsals or just keep walking up and down the floor.
Or if you're casting new models, maybe like amateur models that may need maybe 2 or 3.
But then that ain't a rehearsal. That needs to be a model class. That needs to be a class. That don't need to be a rehearsal.
I'm just saying.
That needs to be a class.
I didn't make my models go to all the rehearsals. They had like how you said, all them rehearsals, and I told my models, you already know what you're doing.
Exactly.
So if you can make it, you make it. If you can't, you can't. I'm not gonna take money out your pocket. You work and everything.
Like in the famous words of my boy Darren, left, right, don't fall.
Yep.
So I had a question for Fats and Morris and Tony. What about the time length on a fashion show?
Oh yes, Lord.
That's a killer for the audience. I'm just saying.
Lord.
What about the time length of a fashion show? Oh my God.
Let me tell you something. Wait, let me answer this.
Look, he coming back.
Tina Bridges, I hope you still on here listening, because I really have something to say about your fashion show, about your Ageless Beauty fashion show. When I seen the designers, I was like, oh, we're going to be here all day. I don't care what y'all say. Anybody out there? By Miss Tina Bridges. That goddamn fashion show was an hour and a half, and we was up out that joint. Do you understand me? It was on point. It was in order. You ain't have people sitting there for 12 hours. And I don't even remember how many designers she had. I think she had about 8 or 9. I don't even remember.
She didn't have a whole lot of acts either.
But when I tell you,
didn't have a whole lot.
When I tell you, Tina did that show, it was on point. Nothing was off. I timed it. And don't get me wrong, I love everybody in Denim and Desserts. I will never do another Denim and Desserts show. That show lasted for 6 hours. People got up and they started to walk out.
You're frying eggs now. You know what
Guess what? Listen, they ain't gonna miss one model.
I know that.
It was too much for me. Let me say that. It was just too much for me.
I wrote in all caps.
It was 6 hours. And every time I'm in a long fashion show, I go back to Tina Bridges. That show was an hour and a half. We did our thing. We celebrated. Tina fed us. We did fitness. We did all of that. And that show was an hour and a half, and it was on point. It was done, and we was at home. Before 10 o'clock.
Well, see, I think, like I just said, you know, when you start adding all these, unless it's a different type of production where you got acts like you know, like what Miss
She had it though.
Can I finish that? That like Miss V is putting on. Unless you got those type of acts, you know what I'm saying, then if it's just a regular fashion show, you don't need acts. It's supposed to just be what it is, a fashion show. You go to New York, you go to Miami, you go to Chicago, they got fashion shows. You don't see acts in a fashion show. It's done with models, designers. They in and out. Bottom line.
And it's continuous.
And it's continuous.
But
like this.
even at that, Tina had acts. She had like 3.
I know. We already said, and she didn't have a whole lot of acts. We said that. But you didn't hear it. Because you was all up in here.
What's your take?
I like I said, I like just like Kay said, I like a show that's gonna, come on, go on and do it. But you have a whole lot when you have some people that get down there and they start the show so late. A show will start at like say 5 o'clock. It don't start at 7 o'clock
because they waiting to see how many people gonna show up and sit at the damn podium.
All right, Mr. G. We got 9 minutes.
Got me fried eggs up in here now.
That you fried eggs.
No, turn over the cup.
No, I mean, I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers with anybody, but
you got more. How many hours? How many hours should it take for you?
Depending on what type of show you're doing, depending on the type of show you're doing and the type of caliber of show you want to do, I'd say a show shouldn't last no more than like 2.5 hours at the most, 3 hours at the most. I mean, because ain't nobody want to be there. I'm gonna have a show that start at 7. I'm gonna want everybody to be gone at least by 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Right.
For us to, for them to get home at a reasonable time or even get to the bar at a reasonable time.
Yeah, I just think that 6 hours is too long for a fashion show. And then the thing about it is you lose your people. You people were leaving, you lose your people. And that wasn't the only fashion show that I've been in like that. It was another one. It was like 5.5 hours. That's too long for a fashion show. It's just absolutely too long. And then the people are not thinking about the fact that the models and the designers, if a show is at 5 o'clock, they want us there at 12. So we there 5 hours before the show, and then you keeping me another 5 hours for the show. So now I spent my whole day with you.
Mr. Ernest, you still with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I spent my whole day with you. So I mean, I just think a fashion show shouldn't last that long. It shouldn't. We should have a certain number of designers to do the show. I don't think a fashion show needs to be 6 hours. It really doesn't.
Nothing needs to be 6 hours.
Yeah, like Miss Sharon said, 2 hours. Reginald said 1.5 hours. Miss Sharon said 2 hours, because after that you lose your audience.
Yeah, you lose the audience, and then some of the designers don't get a chance to showcase their pieces because half of the places don't walk out.
Yeah, they're gone. Half of the people are gone. So when you got designers that are at the end of that lineup, they're missing. They're missing people seeing their garments. They're missing people seeing their clothes because people tired. They're going home.
And then you have some people some shows about 3 hours, and then they have a red carpet session. They'd be like 1 hour.
What red carpet? I ain't seen not one real red carpet session yet.
I don't even know.
I don't know what a red carpet
definition of red carpet is.
Oh, what up, baby?
We'd like to get you guys' information to make sure everybody can reach out that tune in tonight.
Yeah. Again, y'all, we were talking tonight about models and models being paid. Who should pay them? Designers, whatever. But again, we are never going to agree, so we're going to agree to just disagree.
And just keep in mind, we're the voice of the people that are talking behind the scenes, but don't want to say anything on the scenes. So
right. Again, like I said earlier, these are not my thoughts. These were questions that were put into a group that I decided to make a topic about. I'm good where I'm at. I'm good. So these are not my views. And I told y'all when it's my view, I'm gonna say this is what I see. This is how I feel.
Gospel Gordon to G.
So these are views and questions of models. We have 2 designers here who have spoken their piece about how they feel if models should get paid and things of that nature. Again, our time is drawing to near, so don't even. Jamal said, "Don't even get me started."
No, please don't get. No.
You should have called in.
You should have called in. Now you want to call in. You got 3 minutes left. Now you want to chime in. Somebody don't get you started. Oh, but anyway, congrats. He's a dad.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, congratulations Congratulations on the baby. Congratulations.
I still got you on the Five Guys, bro. I still got you.
Mr. Ernest, thank you for calling in.
Yeah, thank you, Ernest,
much love to you
for calling in. But just to recap.
Well, thanks for listening in. I didn't know you were still on, my brother. Appreciate your patience.
You know, I'm gonna call you. We have to have a side conversation. I'm gonna call you.
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
All right, take care.
All right.
Good night.
But just to recap, models should be paid. We really don't know who's gonna pay them, but they need to be paid. Study your craft, learn your craft, learn how to become a professional model. If you need or feel like you need to take runway classes, do your research. Jamal said he want that hamburger right now.
Well, you know, people in hell want ice water, but they can't get it right now.
But
sorry, my brother.
do your research. Do your research on your designers. Do your research on your agencies and agents. And just do your research on the modeling industry overall if this is something that you want to be a part of. Don't just jump out there. Again, like Shalonda said, yeah, it has to be in your heart.
Yes.
It has to be in your heart. It's something you eat, sleep. When you wake, when your feet hit the floor in the morning, you need to be thinking about being on that runway if that's what you want to do. But like Miss Zachary said, you have to study your craft. And again, that's with anything in life you do. You have to study. Mars didn't get up and just sew a shirt and be like, oh, I can do it. No, he had to study the craft on how to do that. Fats had to do the same thing. I know they probably had a couple of shirts out there. Y'all remember that shirt that Denise made for Theo? They probably had some of them shirts out there.
Final thoughts.
Okay. So I'm gonna let Morris do some thoughts here. Which final thoughts?
Yeah, models should get paid. Designers should get paid too. That's it. That's my opinion. I mean, y'all was right. I mean, y'all hit a lot of key points and everything. And yeah, y'all was right. I mean, models should get paid as well as designers should get paid too.
All right.
Both of them are major components to a show, regardless of anything. You ain't got the designers, the models, you don't have a show. I don't care who the promoter is, what type of promotion you're doing, or what type of fashion you're doing. But you need the designers and you need the models. Can't have one without the other.
And tell people how they can follow you and find you, and tell them the name of your line. Tell them how they can find you.
My line, the Morris Antonio brand, which consists of Morris Antonio, by Morris Antonio, and the Kamara brand, Kamara by Antonio. Follow me on Instagram at Morris Antonio, and like us on Facebook at Alibi by Morris Antonio.
All right, Morris will be back, y'all, when we get in close. Ernest said we his family and he loves us. Morris will be back, y'all, when we getting close to that hostile takeover. He's welcome to come back anytime he wants.
Y'all need to have me up here.
Fats, tell them how they can find you.
You can find me on Facebook. Either my Facebook page is Fats Williams. Instagram is Fats_clothing. Twitter and everything else is at Fats Clothing for you. Just everywhere.
All right, G, I know you got something coming up, don't you?
Do what?
Yeah, my birthday. You can find me in the club. Follow with the boo.
Sign us out, G.
Oh, all right. Look here, Atlanta. We hope you enjoyed our show tonight, Spilling the Tea. We wish we wanted to hear from you guys. But look here, anything you want to talk about, any topics you want to talk about, call in. Do we have an email address that they can email us?
The email address is. Jamal said, I'm going to say this and go to bed. If you know you don't have the money to pay the models, then you need not have a show.
Good. Drop the mic.
You can email us at Spilling the Tea. It's SPILLINGTHETEA 2018 @gmail.com.
See, I couldn't say it all that.
All right. Spilling the tea, y'all. We out. We don't know what the topic going to be next week. We come up with it in the middle of the week.
We'll see you next week, Atlanta.
Just tune in.
Be safe this weekend.
Peace out, y'all.
I live it how I get it. I get it how I'm living. Wait a minute.
Music. That was a very that's your song right now. That's one of the hot model songs, y'all. Love that song. I mean, that's a touchy subject, y'all, but you know, again, it wasn't my view. It was just questions. Yeah, questions.
You right about
All right, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm good where I'm at. What I'm doing, I mean. Man, Tina, I don't care what nobody says. That show was. She's right. You know, that show was on point. And Tina ain't got nobody sitting down for 5 hours.
All the mics on there. Y'all did that. Just hear the music.
Hey, Aries, you come in at the last minute, girl.
Who that? Who that Aries? Who that?
Still live right here.
I'm getting my And you know what? Calvin was one of the ones that said that. He told the model that you show me a receipt where you can pay the model. Because she wanted to be paid.
My last experience with him was oh, yeah, hey man, want to show down. Oh, yeah, he had discussed. Yeah, and pay kids, right? Yeah, he had to pay millions.
You talked about yeah, how do I know what to with? So regular is 30, VIP is 40? 25. Ain't nobody divided once they went to 16 cars.
No, we got too deep. They was probably scared to call it. Probably scared to go get asked the question.